On the Signal chat, Senator Roger Wicker.
Hold on one second. Yes. Go ahead.
What happened? But these people, they can't just admit they screwed up, even though it's right there in front of our eyes. It's as plain as day. Instead, they defend themselves by taking issue with the term war plans.
There were no sources, methods, locations, or war plans that were shared.
There were no war plans discussed.
We have said all along no war plans were discussed. There were no war plans discussed.
Nobody was texting war plans.
How many times do you have to repeat a lie before it becomes true? I guess we're going to find out. So the reporter then, who was on the chain, published the exchange, the whole exchange. Let's go through it now, and you can decide for yourself if these are war plans or not. Okay, let's see. F-18s launch, target terrorists, strike drones launch, more F-18s launch, first bombs will definitely drop, first sea-based Tomahawks launch. Now, I'm not an expert on war. These don't seem like peace plans to me.
Damn! Now listen, I've covered my fair share of comedians taking aim at the current president. Some may say it's a pastime of mine.
In his first year, Trump's approval rating dipped as low as 33%. This is supposed to be his honeymoon phase. 33%, syphilis polls higher.
Now this comes as Trump found himself in even hotter water this week, wow that rhymed, after the Trump administration officials accidentally shared sensitive military plans with the Atlantic editor-in-chief Jeffrey Goldberg, sparking quite the reaction from Democrats across the board and from comedians, as well as late-night hosts Jimmy Kimmel and Stephen Colbert.
So this is the guy that peddles in garbage.
This is like, and I know Pete can relate to this, this is like getting drunk, driving your car into a lamppost, and blaming the lamppost.
Details shared on Signal, and how did you learn that a journalist was privy to the targets, the types of weapons used?
I've heard I was characterized. Nobody was texting war plans, and that's all I have to say about that. Thank you.
All right, well then, let's see what the guy you accidentally texted war plans had to say about that.
I want to start by getting your reaction to what we heard from Secretary Hegseth there, saying that nobody was texting war plans. Given you were privy to this group chat, is that how you saw it?
No, that's a lie. He was texting war plans.
I don't know whether there's any debate about this. I mean, we have the text. He printed them. We've seen them. The White House confirmed that the texts were authentic, and many of them are from Pete Hegseth, the same guy who said this about Hillary Clinton using a private email server.
If there was anyone other than Hillary Clinton, they would be in jail right now.
Correct.
For what has been done. Because the assumption is in the intelligence community, if you are using unclassified means, there is the potential for and likelihood that foreign governments are targeting those accounts and gathering intelligence from them.
Very well said.
Got him. We fucking got him.
Donald Trump was asked about the epic, historic national security cluster munch. He tried to dodge it completely.
I don't know anything about it. I know nothing about it. You're saying that they had what? I don't know anything about it. You're telling me about it for the first time.
Trump might plead ignorance, and that's believable. But his team definitely knew better, especially Hegseth. Just 1 week ago, a Pentagon-wide email went out warning about the vulnerability of using Signal. Well, there's your problem. They should have put it in the group chat. Nobody checks their work email. Mine's all come to the softball game, and here's who Paramount's bombing this weekend.
But it was actually so bad that even champions of the right-wing Zin Brigade turned on Trump.
In this new administration, you want to take accountability. Trump, you may love Michael Waltz. You love Pete Hegseth. You may love these guys. Somebody has to go down. To me, it's Michael Waltz. He's the one who added him to this conversation. But you can't have the top of the top security people in the United States with the most sensitive information in the world adding random editors of a magazine that hates Trump's guts to a group chat talking about an attack before it happens on a terrorist group. You can't poo-poo it. You can't downplay it. You have to sit up there and be like, holy shit, this is a up of epic proportions. There will be accountability. I will get to the bottom of this. And frankly, I think I don't like calling for people's heads. Michael Waltz, it seems like you're the guy who added him to the group chat. You have to lose your job. You should step down. You cannot be adding random people to a group chat with this sensitive, classified information. Just be like, oh, no, poo-poo. It's on him. He should have left the group chat instantly. This guy shouldn't have stayed in. It's on Jeffrey Goldberg for not immediately being like, hey, I should be here. No. It's on you for adding him. And this has to be something that, and this is why I hate politics, you have to stand up here and be like, what a up. I will demand answers, accountability in the heads. I don't care if you're right, left. There's nothing being made up here. Jeffrey Goldberg is telling the truth. It's obvious these texts are real. It's obvious they're classified. It's obvious we gave away the strike information 2 hours before it happened. We're lucky it didn't cause the death of American military members. Somebody has to go down for this. This is a mistake. This isn't a Barstool mistake where you let an idiot hang around like Mitzi. This is a mistake that can't happen twice. It cannot happen once. So you have to make a change and show it'll never happen. And these are the top intel guys that we have in the country. Adding a rando, the editor of The Atlantic, to the most sensitive group chat in the world, somebody's got to go down. That's just the facts. You can't poo-poo this.
Now, I'll say this. It's important to highlight not only the response to the sheer recklessness of this administration from elected officials across the board.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think it's always good, like when we have something that's bipartisan, because it happens so little around here anymore. But rather than giving like a really big, long speech, I feel like I could just use this, and this will tell you that I think it's good. Right, so like that's a fist, American flag, fire. So I'll just, from now on, when we do things where like we agree, I'll just hold this up rather than giving like a really big, long speech. So job well done, guys.
Would the gentleman yield?
Oh, sure, I'll yield.
But I'm not sure everybody recognizes the reference there. Would you explain where that comes from?
Yeah, so this is how when we're in like a chat with friends, right, where we're like having a casual chat about like where we're dropping missiles.
Are you talking about a public chat room?
Yeah, but like, and with friends, and we're just like, hamming about who we're going to bomb and all of that. But we agree. We fist American flag fire. So I'm holding this up. I think we could just keep the committee shorter if, like, when we agree, we just hold this up.
No, I think you're supposed to have the flexed arm instead of the fist.
No, it was just it was just the fist. What signal chat are you in?
But
I was on Twitter.
If the gentleman would yield for an additional question,
Sure.
But what happens if there are reporters who might be there for that?
Well, hopefully they support America and that it's fire.
So you're telling me we can't have a bipartisan conversation among members of the committee without a journalist being there?
Well, we can, but if you don't add them, if you don't want them to know.
And what if they just happen to show up somehow?
Well, that's because somebody added them.
But those outside of Washington who reach the masses where they are, sometimes through comedy, especially when this current administration is basically working like a sitcom.
Because of how incredibly sloppy they are, a German newspaper, Der Spiegel, was able to find personal email addresses, phone numbers, and passwords, some of which seem to be still in use for Mike Waltz, Tulsi Gabbard, and Pete Hegseth. What a group. We have a national security advisor who doesn't know how to secure, a defensive secretary of defense, a pro-measles secretary of health, and a secretary of education who wants to close the Department of Education. But White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt, she's standing firm. She said today the administration has been incredibly transparent about this entire situation. Yeah, that's the problem. They've been so transparent. We've seen all their information.
Can't get enough Meidas? Check out the Meidas Plus Substack for ad-free articles, reports, podcasts, daily recaps from Ron Filipkowski, and more. Sign up for free now at MeidasPlus.com.